On Michigan Magazine, we've shown you that dreams do come true in the story of Michigander Spike Cooper, whose determination brought about an old west town that has drawn the curious and fellow dreamers to this out-of-the-way wilderness oasis of days gone by. We've also brought you the story of how another man's dream of bringing Old West heroes of the silver screen back to life for a new generation to appreciate and emulate in an annual Cowboy Days celebration. Clifford Parent of South Branch, also a Michigan Magazine producer, started bringing Cowboy Lookalikes to Michigan celebrations over 14 years ago, each year delighting kids and kids at heart. 2015 was a very special year when these two dreamers came together. Cliff and crew coordinated and made it possible for his Cowboy Lookalike heroes to not only make their regular appearances in Ogemaw and Clare counties, but also an entire day was spent in Oscoda County at Coopersville, Old West Town. It was a big finale of the weekend. It took the Cowboys to Parkview Acres in Lupton. Lovewell's Corners. Clare, Michigan. Then, of course, Coopersville, USA.
It's easy if you do.
Hero lookalikes included Annie Oakley, the Lone Ranger, Lash LaRue, Gene Autry,
where the longhorn cattle feed on the lowly gypsum weed, back in the saddle again.
Tom Mix, Gabby HAYES,
Yes, sir, Bob.
John Wayne, Rooster Cogburn, Matt Dillon, the Four Vigilantes, Gus, a Native American reenactor. Thousands turned out to greet and meet the Cowboys, get their autograph, and take pictures and selfies to preserve the memories. There were barbecues, knife and hatchet throwing, a laser shooting gallery, fast draw demonstrations, bank robberies, Main Street shootouts, and buckboard rides. And all in all, the good guys prevailed. It was a dream weekend for many, including the hero lookalike themselves. Many of them growing up when those heroes they were portraying graced the silver screen. On upcoming Michigan Magazine shows, we'll take a moment to get to know some of the lookalikes to find out what portraying the heroes of yesteryear means to them. Today we talk with Alan By, who portrays the sidekick Gabby HAYES.
Well, what happened is originally I was going to the Roy Rogers Festival in Portsmouth, Ohio. And this man said, well, you want to take some pictures? And I said, well, I don't look like Roy because I have a beard. And he said, well, you could get fat and you can be Andy Devine. I said, well, no, I don't want to do that. So I come up with this Gabby HAYES outfit. So I went to Portsmouth to take my picture with him. Well, he didn't show up. And then I got into a costume contest. I won, and then I got invited to a festival, and once I started going to festivals, I kept getting invited more and more and more. So 20 years later, here I am still doing it.
There you go. What would you say would be the finest attribute of Gabby that kind of attracts people the most? Besides his beard.
Besides his beard, his personality is yes sir, Bob, and his humor. He could be funny, he could be serious. Whatever you needed for his part, he could do.
Yeah.
In reality, he had been a vaudeville actor and stuff, so he could tap dance, he could sing. Yeah, so when they did singing musicals with Roy and Dale, they could use him to sing and dance and stuff. He did in A Song of Arizona, he did a tap dance with a little boy that they're doing a Halloween thing, and he had a coonskin cap on and two guns, and both of them got out and did a little tap dance and stuff. So he was extremely talented. See, he had been on stage for 25 years before he ever went to Hollywood.
No kidding. A lot of these things people don't realize.
Yep. He had a long career. He had retired from the stage and come out west, and then he got into movies and stuff. So, and he kind of did a lot of different movies, and then he got into westerns. He started doing westerns with John Wayne. and then it kind of picked up from there. And then he worked with Hopalong Cassidy as Wendy Holiday, and he became big star. And the producers weren't real thrilled because he was getting a lot of other offers, so he left them, went to Republic Studios with Roy and them guys, and they let him do movies with Roy and Randolph Scott and John Wayne and whoever he wanted, because it was great advertisement for them, and he was real popular in those movies. He did about 170 movies.
Oh my goodness, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And he did a TV show later on after he got out of movies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, for a year, he was replacement for Buffalo Bob on Howdy Doody Show because Buffalo Bob had a heart attack.
Oh.
So they called him to substitute with Howdy Doody for a year.
As Gabby Hayes?
As Gabby Hayes, yep.
No kidding. Well, that's a classic. We'll have to check it out.
I've never seen any of the episodes, but I've seen his TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Where he didn't play a part. They would take a movie like a Buster Crabbe movie or a Lash LaRue movie, and then they would cut it into a half an hour, and he'd fill in the gaps, and then he'd have his stories and what have you.
Yeah. Well, that's great to bring back the Old West for the new generation. A lot of people
we hope so.
realize that this generation of silver screen heroes was out there. I mean, it's something that has got to be renewed and let people know
I think
that,
so.
Different type of attitude back then. You knew when the bad guys were the bad and the good guys were the good.
It was always values about right and wrong.
Yeah.
And you knew who the good guys were, you knew who the bad guys were, and the good guys were going to do good. They weren't going to all of a sudden change and become a bad guy.